mean a love that really rocks. 'Cause they call me the baby, the good time lady. Just look at me and it's easy to see why they call me Cindy Ecstasy. The words are wise to make your love thing really rise. You don't need your speed, your powder. When you've got the prize that'll brighten your skies. So look me up and I tell no lies, 'cause I'm the lady with the hot surprise. If you don't believe me, ask all sucks. I shook them up and I gave him hell. So call up Cindy Ecstasy if you're looking for a memory. So call up Cindy Ecstasy if you're looking for a memory. So call up Cindy Ecstasy if you're looking for a memory. So call up Cindy Ecstasy if you're looking for a memory. So call up Cindy Ecstasy if you're looking for a memory. So call up Cindy Ecstasy if you're looking for a memory.
What happened to Dr. Waterman? Only this man, last to see him alive, knows. Equinox. The invisible barrier between good and evil. The invisible barrier between light and the forces of darkness. The supernatural before your very eyes as 4 teenage boys and girls fight a devil cult for their sanity, for their lives, for their eternal souls. Equinox, a story that defies logic, confounds belief. Dr. Waterman, wait! Wait!
I can't believe it. It was just a fall.
What is the secret of the 1,000-year-old book? What are the unspeakable horrors conjured by the forces of evil? What is the fiendish power of the ring that enslaves and destroys? What is the one symbol that can hold at bay the hosts of hell unleashed on earth? Equinox, proving again that there is more in heaven and on earth than is dreamt of in our philosophy. Equinox! Equinox! Begins where Rosemary's Baby left off.
Okay, it doesn't.
It does not. The Rosemary's Baby quote makes that trailer, though.
Because why wouldn't you say something like that if you could, right?
Yeah. But what does this have to do with Rosemary's Baby outside of they both have occult elements? But okay, Cool.
That's it.
What
That's all you get. That's the only connection.
Jack Harris is like, these kids, they'll get it. Will they, Jack H. Harris? Anyway, we've returned from Planet of the Dinosaurs. Bill had some prescient thoughts about this film. First off, you have a theory about what happens to the people in this world that I think needs to be shared with others.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. Well, see, we're always talking about shared universes and Messiah of Evil, Dead and Buried. This movie takes place in the same universe as Don't Go Near the Park.
Mm-hmm.
So stay with me here. These people in Planet of the Apes style, of course, because that's totally what would happen. They crash land on this planet and it has prehistoric dinosaurs. Really, they just went back in time. And they're still on Earth, only in prehistoric era. So, they've already landed there and they're already civilized people. So they're going to be bored there. They're going to start getting into satanic worship. And lo and behold, they're going to become immortal. They're going to have to eat, human beings to survive. Eventually, Mino Pelus and his runaway friends are living near their home in what is now a park in Los Angeles. And here comes pervy Aldo Ray. You like it?
Love it. I think it's great. So I think you've made it happen. I think also the other thing, I really wish that this movie was like Tintoera, where it was less about the dinosaurs and more about like these guys got to be polyamorous if they want to survive on Planet of the Dinosaurs. Like there's no time for weird hangups, baby. On Planet of the Dinosaur, everybody's that kid's mom. They're all, you know what I mean? They're all like a group mom and a group dad at this point because they got to survive.
There were a couple choices. I mean, there could have been a couple families, at least two.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have to see. That's what the movie should have been about. Was about their hookups and their relationships, and there should have been some progressive ideas for relationships on Planet of Dinosaurs.
Yeah, exactly. A progressive movie, Planet of Dinosaurs. It's so progressive it doesn't have a the in it because we don't need a the, baby. Let's get the middleman out of here. For all the talk in this movie, the dinosaurs were stupid creatures. The dinosaurs sort of took a bite out of humans. Nearly all of the humans were almost to a person dumb. And also a lot of facial hair. Also, I like that they didn't take off the spacesuits until we got to that couple months later when everybody suddenly was wearing loincloths and bell bottoms.
I think that was a year later.
Oh, a year later.
Or several years later because they had a little kid.
They did. So, you think anybody's going to have a dinosaur human hybrid baby? That's the movie I want. Kind of like End of Humanoids from the Deep, where we get that. I was thinking about that, how great the ending of that movie is the other day, where it's like, you know what? What if we saw a V baby get born years before V is a thing?
Yeah, this could have gone in so many different directions. Sadly, they didn't have the budget for it. What you said that they were supposed to have a pterodactyl, but they didn't have the money for it.
They were supposed to have a nude scene too, and they couldn't afford it. She's like, I'm not doing that for free. Smart.
She had her priorities.
Yeah. And then we forgot to mention Ray Harryhausen did visit the set on one of the last days of filmings. And that dinosaur at the end is the what movie did I say? Beast from 20,000 Fathoms? Is that what I said it was from?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the dinosaur from that. And he let them use it for that little cameo at the end. And they were like, hey, it's going to die. It's going to fall on sticks. And it's almost going to land on a guy, or it does land on a guy. I like where he's like
made out of.
I don't know. Probably just like I guess some kind of clay with a thing under, a skeleton underneath it.
I don't know. I mean, it was nicely detailed, and it had been a long time since he made that movie with it. So
yeah, that's what I wonder. Like,
wouldn't they score much better than we thought they did in the first segment?
Yeah. But you would think that clay would eventually, or wherever they use on him, would set after a while, unless the armature that he built had like some articulation or something. I've watched the documentary about his creation, so I'm gonna have to watch it again and see how much movement do they actually have. But love the traps that the humans build. And that spider only shows up for one scene, and you're like, there weren't any more spiders. It's not Planet of Spiders, right? It's Planet of
The
Dinosaurs.
spiders were a big draw for me
Yeah.
when I was a kid because I remember the description in TV Guide. That's what sold me on watching this movie, because it said that they landed on a planet of dinosaurs and giant spiders. So how could I say no to this movie?
I can't say no to this movie.
I was a little disappointed by the spider scene, I must admit, although I love how it's just kind of sitting in there hanging out.
Yeah.
And she startles it by reaching behind it and grabbing it in that cave. You'd never stick your hand in another spider's cave. It's just not done.
They don't understand the Prime Directive at all. If I can get Star Trekky on this, they're like, we came to this new planet. You know what? Let's kill everything. We're humans. That's what we do. We're humans. So
kill it and eat it.
Kill it and eat it. I like that one guy's like, what do we have for dinner tonight? Dinner tonight? Lizard again? Like, they're already bored of eating dinosaur. They probably had to make it. There's no refrigerator. So unless they went back to the ship at some point, but like, did they like beef jerky that dinosaur? Did they salt it? Who knows?
How could they ever go back in that lake with that that water dinosaur that ate that poor woman right off the bat? She hadn't even, dried off yet.
No, it's like the thing that's in the in Star Wars that's inside the garbage pit. That little thing. He comes out. The toy of that was like one of my favorite toys, because like you never really see it in the movie, and like Kenner was like, here's kind of what we think it looks like. Right,
yeah.
It's like
it was surrounded by styrofoam garbage, and that thing you crank closed.
Yeah. What's funny is that only happens once in Star Wars. It happened thousands of times to my action figures. They would continually fall into it. It's like, well, if you got a trash compactor, you got to use it, right? So a good toy. But hey, Philip's here. I want to say hi to him. Hi to everybody in chat that came back to watch this with us. Let us know in the chat what you thought of this.
There were some comments early on about that it was dumb, but it was fun. And it was just, I totally agree.
If our video cast was a book, that would be on the back cover. It was dumb but fun.
Yeah, hopefully that's what we're going for with this show.
Yeah.
So,
that movie totally fits into that's our style right there.
Yeah, she did have bazoombas, David, and she also was wearing that bikini undies. When she took off her spacesuit, there was like this thing that it had like a circle that held the bra cups together. It was really strange. I'm like, she has that on underneath her spacesuit.
I get Paul 100%. He said, cool soundtrack. Bill and I were talking about that. Like, this soundtrack needs to come out on vinyl. There's some great music in this. It's really fun. You would expect it just to be all library tracks and stuff, but it's not. It's got some cool stuff in it.
They went for it. There were themes.
Yeah.
There were recurring themes. I like the one that sounded like God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen.
It's like the Moog cookbook kind of stuff.
Mort Garson, Beware the Blob.
Yeah.
That soundtrack.
Switched on Christmas. That's a little bit of that in this. But
Wendy Carlos.
Yeah, Wendy Carlos. Tracy said that was a space bra, Bill. It's kind of like a sports bra, but it was a space bra. That's what the future brings. So I think I gotcha. I think that's it.
Hey, speaking of space bras, I heard that for the Alien 4K, they're putting Sigourney Weaver's pubic hair back in.
Yeah, I sent you that. I was so excited. They digitally went in and put it back in.
That's dedication.
It is.
Because they had to remove it. Like, I guess she wouldn't, trim the area.
Nope.
So they removed it in post-production, and now they had to go put it back in for some reason. I
think it's because there's like the what do you call it? The now it's like kind of back in, and maybe in like when Alien came out, it wasn't in. People are like, yeah, that seems like a lot. Today they're like, yeah, just do what you want. So there's a big controversy too about the Jaws 3 and 4 4Ks that are out because they used AI to do them, and the faces look like Messiah of Evil ghouls. That's literally how someone described it. Like the faces look all blobbed out in the background. It's really horrifying. because instead of doing it frame by frame like a lot of folks do, a lot of the big studios are just having AI color correct the whole thing, just clicking a few buttons. Yeah. So you pay all this money for Jaws 4K and you get something scary.
Well,
But
people won't be buying that shit, hopefully.
no. So, but the
They'll be
Alien
sending
4K,
it
they
back
will.
asking for their money.
Do you think there'll be a behind the scenes thing on the extras, like with the artist who had to digitally put back in Sigourney Weaver's Merkin?
I hope so.
Yeah. I
But could
mean,
you imagine that? I want to talk to the crew who
yeah,
had to put her pubes back in for the
ex-
Alien 4K.
exactly. Like they're like, well, we looked at a lot of pictures from the time and we really tried to get it just right. And it was really important to us.
Yeah, I mean, like, would they, if they had some pictures of her on the set like that, maybe?
Yeah.
What did they have to compare it to? Where they were just guessing?
Maybe they had her come in for like a month. They just had her sit in the studio.
They're like, can you recreate this to the best of
Yeah.
your ability?
Yeah, to your best of your ability. Could you, we have a budget and we will pay you for this. So
Eldon Glenn wants to know who's buying Jaws 3 4K. Sam would. Becca would.
Becca would 100% buy Jaws 3D 4K. She would buy Jaws 4 4K before any of the Jaws movies. That's her favorite Jaws. So there you go. But I like this movie. It feels like it's kind of like the kind of movie when you watch when you're a kid and like, this is what it's going to be like when I'm a grown up. These are adult relationships, and they're not. They're science fiction relationships.
Oh, they're ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm like,
although I did appreciate that one confrontation that he had when, you know, the boss dude tries to send the woman to go get water, and the other dude's like, wait a minute, why are you going and getting his fucking water?
Yeah,
we're stranded on planet of dinosaurs. Get your own fucking water.
The old rules of male chauvinism don't exist on Planet of Dinosaurs.
Right.
It's a whole new bag once you're in space.
It's bullshit.
Yeah. That's how I see it. So, wow, I'm so excited about Equinox after this trailer. Because, first off, we should have shown Rosemary's Baby first, and then the natural sequel, yeah. Equinox. Because this takes where Rosemary's Baby ends, this is where it takes off. But
this is movie, totally a continuation of Rosemary's Baby.
I love this movie because they're like, was one monster enough? No. Or two enough? No. How about like 8? Not enough. We need more. And it's got a lot of monsters in it. So it's a fun one. And a lot of people, I also love my favorite thing about stop motion, and it happens a lot in Planet of Dinosaurs. People and dinosaurs and monsters, like shapes and size change. Like suddenly, like a human in a dinosaur's mouth is like 20 foot long. Do you know what I mean? When it picks it up, like, because it's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be perfect.
I was confused because there was that one scene where the dinosaur backed her up against the rock, and she's like, and she threw dirt in its eyes.
Yeah,
but that wasn't the T-Rex, was it? That was something else. Okay,
but it looked like a T-Rex, and it was the same shape as one, but it was like her height, so it was like a 5 foot tall T-Rex. Okay,
Taylor was the boss dude. That's the one that got gored.
Yeah,
that was a great scene.
Yeah, I hated him. He was a jerk from day one, like from when it started.
Yeah. Anyway, you're stranded on a planet in outer space, and you're like telling someone they're going to dock you 2 weeks' pay.
Yeah.
Fuck that noise.
No, we ain't having it.
Eldon,
Richard Burton is not in the second movie. That's a different Equinox. So we're getting into a totally different film. But you know what?
Is there a Richard Burton Equinox?
There's Equus, maybe.
Oh, Equus.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a special. We're going to do a special episode. We should do it for Halloween where we just show like really important movies. Do you know what I mean? Like movies that the rest of the world thinks are important. We'll be showing like My Dinner with Andre and talking about it. And Bill will show all the ad campaigns for it.
We could dress like Siskel and Ebert.
Oh,
they love talking about My Dinner with Andre.
Loved it. Save the center aisle for us. We'll be up in the balcony 2 thumbs up.
Dog of the week.
Dog of the week. Our dogs of the week would be all good movies. Like our dog of the week this week is My Dinner with Andre. And now let's talk about Brotherhood of the Bell. And we'll talk about movies that
My
we like.
dog of the week is Maxine, a trashy, wannabe, sleazy thriller from the 80s that's slinked into theaters right now. I want you to think it's really important. Well, it isn't.
You know this is Scott Ebert style.
I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about Maxine. You haven't seen it yet, though, so I'm not going to talk about it.
Go ahead. You can talk about it because I'm going to see it regardless. So.
Well, I'm not totally into any of the movies. I've decided, like the X, Pearl, Maxine. I was really anxious to see Maxine because I thought it was going to finally deliver on what the trilogy had promised, and it does not. Unfortunately, it's just another sort of like, you know, there's too much being held back in Maxine, even though there's some pretty gratuitous stuff in it. There are a couple satisfying moments, but the third act, there's always a problem in the third act, and this movie suffers from it too.
No modern horror knows how to finish a movie. Like nobody writes from the back and finishes it. And like, I saw Longlegs opinions. How long do you got?
I haven't seen it, so you have to talk about Longlegs.
I did not like it because it's very much, it's shot really well. Okay. It looks gorgeous, but it's like, it's a movie that's like, wouldn't it be cool if, and then like, but none of the cool stuff actually ends up happening. It's like, wouldn't it be cool if this had like a Zodiac kind of puzzle? Yeah, it would be cool. And, but it's not. It's like, it just goes, it's like, it isn't even important. And there's so many, and look, you know, the movies we watch, I talk about Jess Franco and Doris Wishman all the time, right? I could deal with plot holes, but when I'm coming to a movie and people tell me, oh, this is the new Silence of the Lambs, like, okay, that's a way high bar. And you know what? Silence of the Lambs sucks compared to Manhunter. So imagine where I'm coming into this. And like, the whole time I was thinking like, oh, well, maybe this will be as good as Manhunter. No, it's not. But it looks great. Nicolas Cage is great. He's pretty much Tiny Tim in Blood Harvest. Blood Harvest is a better movie than this too. And I love Tiny Tim. I feel bad for him because now everybody just thinks the kids today are like, oh, Tiny Tim is so creepy. I'm like, no, he was, but he was also a very multifaceted performer that brought back songs we would have never heard otherwise. I could defend him. But yeah, why is he Longlegs? And I've been calling my cat who's sleeping behind me, that's Longlegs, because she does this dance that she does. But it's like, the thing that drives me the most nuts in the movie, and this is a spoiler, so if you haven't seen it, just cover your hands with your ears.
AC said she didn't want any spoilers.
Oh, this is a non-spoiler. Okay, I already ruined it last week. But the thing that drives me nuts about it, and I keep reading people saying like, oh, there's so much stuff in the narrative of the film, and people are like making their own lore up about the movie and all these different things that are in it. And it's like, if you have to do that much work to make a movie something that you like just like it. I don't know. I was at least I saw it at Alamo Draft House and it was a great experience. Like the popcorn was, how was the movie? Popcorn was awesome. And
yeah, you said they had themed trailers too.
Yeah, I got it here. That's the real problem.
Cool.
I got a trailer for Happy Birthday to Me, which is great, right? And I got a Brotherhood of Satan trailer, which is awesome, and a T-Rex song. That was my 3 trailers, and I was like, man, right? If this was
what T-Rex song did they play?
Oh well, Bang a Gong. What else would they play? They're not going to play Jeepster or anything.
20th Century Boy.
I wish, but yeah. So, and they even had a code from the movie over the. They did more work putting the trailers together at the Alamo Draft House than. But I will say, my good thing I'll say about Longlegs, right, is, I really like all the ad campaign for it. So maybe does it live up to the William Castle thing I'm looking for? Like the ad with just a 911 call, it was awesome. The posters for the movie look great. The thing that they had a phone number where you could call and talk to him, I think it was awesome. Like the marketing team did an amazing job, but also they did too good. It's the same thing A24's team does. Neon's team does it too, where it's like, I got to see this movie. And I say, I'm not going to get jazzed up. I'm not going to get excited. I'm not going to go crazy. about this movie and be excited. And of course I did. I was like, because I kept hearing, this is the best horror movie of 2024. And right away, part of me is like, I'm going to hate it. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to be that guy, right? Like, I'm going to be cool about this. I'm going to be chill. I'm not going to be like, oh, the only good movies are. And I realize, again, objectively, 90% of what I love is absolute shit, right? But it's my shit. And I love it. And like, this was not for me.
Well, that's what's hard for us to comment on stuff, because
Yeah.
the movies that we like are, really movies everyone else says are terrible.
Yeah, didn't you just write a 10 out of 10 review of Doris Wishman's last movie, which was shot on video, called Dildo Heaven? Yeah, I did. It was awesome.
10 out of 10, really?
No, I would say 7 out of 10. It's pretty good though, because it's wild, because I have this theory. This is a third segment one, but go with me for a second. She is the same filmmaker as Jess Franco, is the same filmmaker as Bruno Mattei, where their careers are very similar, where they stuck around a lot longer than anybody else into their 80s, still making movies, right? Late 70s, 80s. And the end of their careers making shot on video movies that reference back their old films. And while they aren't great filmmakers, they have so many weird ideas in their movies that seem like their movies really feel like an alien from outer space made them and said, hey, human, isn't this the kind of movie that you want to see? And you're like
no, AI movies before there was AI.
There is so much in her movies where it's just like, why are there so many feet scenes? Why is there so much furniture? Like, oh my God, there's so much furniture, and they're all shot in her apartment.
Yeah.
And like, it's just so crazy. And like, I love it. And like, that's the world I want to live in, of like people that are these like iconoclastic junk filmmakers that just keep making stuff, right? Like Jess Franco just kept making shot on video movies in hotel ballrooms that have no story. And I've watched every single one of them. I don't know if I would watch another Oz Perkins movie, but you know what? I probably will, because there'll be another great ad campaign. And I'm like, yeah, they did it. And,
True,
yeah,
Jenny Bento.
Yeah, true.
Present company excluded.
But you know what? You might go see it and you might love it, because a lot of people whose opinions I respect have seen it 3 and 4 times. But I saw somebody say, I don't know who said it, it feels like a movie made for Instagram ethos. And yeah, that it feels like it, where it's like all the shots are like, oh, what a perfect shot. And it's like, yeah, but if you take apart the story, there's big parts of the story where you're like, well, why was he doing that? Like, because it was cool. Like, because it's cool is the answer for everything. And it's like, yeah, but Hannibal, to compare it to Silence of the Lambs, like Hannibal Lecter has a reason for everything he does and like a method behind his madness. You can also compare it to Seven, and like I'm not going to spoil Seven, but the killer in Seven, the spoil movie from 30 years ago. I'll spoil a movie from 30 days ago, not 30 years ago. But like there's reasons for all these things, and you can rewatch these movies and get different layers from them yourself. You don't need to write your own lore of them, and that's kind of what I like about those movies versus this. I've watched Manhunter hundreds of times, and I get something out of it Michael Mann's, but he's a great director. So, anyhow, that's my rant. Your mileage may vary.
Don't ever not see a movie because I told you not to.
I hate, this is my biggest pet peeve, is when people are like, sell me on this movie. Like, watch it yourself. And if you hate, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you hate it, cool. Yeah. You've discovered the valley to your peak.
All you did was watch a movie,
Yeah. Or you can be like Becca and just rewatch the same movie until you like it. She loves Midsommar now. Hated it. Absolutely hated it first time she saw it. But she's watched it so many times since then. So, yeah. And I agree with Jenny. I'd rather watch a movie that completely falls apart at some point, or it's like unfinished and rough, because like those rough edges make the beauty of the movie.
Yeah.
I said that about
you can go back to later and appreciate because there was something interesting about them.
I said that about Bradley's movie, Agatha Black, is like it's so many. You can see the pencil strokes in the brush strokes. You can't. It's not. No movie's perfect, but you know what he's going for, and it's a better movie because he's trying things, and it's his first film. That's why I'm so excited for Occult Canvas, because I think he's gonna make something different again, and like. You can tell what seems when someone. The other thing, it kind of, I don't know. Maybe I just don't want to be part of the crowd, and I don't want to be like that though. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't want to be like, oh, it can only be this. Like I don't want to be judgy. But so you should have your own opinions. Anyway, let's talk about Equinox.
Yes. Let's please talk about Equinox.
I'm sorry, I ranted too long. Yes,
this is the best looking one that I could find.
Yeah.
And this pretty much gives you all your hot moments from Equinox.
Just like the other trailer, right? Other ads. Like if you're like 10 years old, you want to see this movie, right?
Oh, I definitely would have wanted to. I remember reading about it in Famous Monsters. Forey Ackerman talked about it.
Well, he set up a lot of the, what do you call it? He got Fritz Lieber, the science fiction author, into the movie. He
Mm-hmm.
plays Dr. Waterman. So he had something to do with it. Yeah.
And of
Oh,
course, Jack Harris. All of his
yeah.
properties were the ones that screened with Equinox in theaters. This
Again,
was 1970 is when this movie came out.
I can talk a lot of shit on a modern movie, but I love Astro Zombies, which is a horrible movie.
That's difficult. Astro Zombies. Well, but it has Tora Satana in it.
And
too,
the Misfits
so.
did a song about it. So those are two things going for it.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
John Carradine. So three things. So, oh, wow.
This is from the UK. Believe it or not, screening with Bigfoot.
That's a great double feature.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
I like how they created a new logo for the United Kingdom with like wavy.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's even better. It's playing all over London.
No, I
It's a-
couldn't find it playing in
Oh.
London. These are from Liverpool. I
A
think
future
both of them.
canon theater here. The ABC Scala is a future canon.
I bet Pete Burns saw it.
He's like, it was rubbish.
It was rubbish. It was total shite. I don't know why these movies keep coming over here. There's like, it looks like a bunch of children made it.
They did.
Here we go.
Oh, do you know who saw this movie?
U of M grad Steve King
He
was
100%
munching
went.
popcorn in his car.
And then he
with
called
Tabby.
he called his friend Sam Raimi and was like, I saw this movie.
Yeah, it was definitely a U of M grad Steve King night at the Brewer DI.
Yeah. Oh, another one. More terrifying than Hitchcock's Psycho. My favorite thing, talking shit on Hitchcock.
That was a KDKA quote.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It was said with a total Yinzer accent, too.
Oh, naturally.
Yeah, wow. Equinox and the Bill, that's a feature I think you would like. Equinox and the Blob together.
Oh, absolutely. You know how much
Yeah.
I love the Blob.
Yeah.
Look, here's another similarity between tonight's two movies. They all have like a speared monster.
Yeah.
Both of them have a speared monster.
They did a really nice job on this ad of getting that pen and ink to look great. That looks really nice. Oh. Did this play with Master of Terror / horror? Master of greater than, less than terror horror?
Yeah, that's one way to be economical with your
Yeah.
ad space.
Yeah. Well, they said we got this beautiful drawing. So we need to of little Abner and Sally Mae running away from a monster.
Supernatural color by Deluxe.
Ooh.
I used to look at ads and I'd like, does that mean there's something different about it? Like,
Yeah.
what looks different about Equinox that no other movie would? It wouldn't look the same way. It's supernatural color.
Oh man. Oh, look at this.
I
This
guess
is
it's $10,000 they were offering you.
Yeah. For the $10,000 pyramid. It looks just like the $10,000 pyramid logo for Devil's Triangle.
Oh yeah.
That turns and it's like, here's the next category.
Dick Clark introduces that movie.
Oh, he does? Oh, this unbearable. Like maybe they're like, maybe that's not the right adjective to use, but we'll use it.
It's not suitable for children. I don't even think it's suitable for adults. It's rubbish.
It's rubbish. Oh, Pete. Pete doesn't like it. What movies does Pete Burns like?
He loved John Waters movies. He was
did he?
actually a big cult films fan, so
Oh.
I don't know. Don't believe anything I say about
He
people.
liked House of Whipcord, probably.
House of Whipcord was the best thing I'd seen at the cinema in years.
Pete Walker. Sinking Spring. Wow.
The Sinking Spring Drive-In had a really fancy logo in the 70s. Like this was, of course, early 70s. Later in the 70s, they had this thing that it looked like an event at the Sinking Spring Drive-In.
But hey, how about that border though?
Oh, that squiggle border. Oh,
Yeah.
you know I'm loving it.
Yeah, I love it.
What is that? Like, I want to know, how did they make that?
It's probably
An artist didn't make that. Or did
yeah, it might just be a font, like a letter from the font, and they moved all those together and just created a border. Because like you would get when you would get rub down type, they would literally give you borders too, and just as rub down. So that would be pretty cool. Oh,
I couldn't not run this ad. Look at the blob. Is that supposed to be
what
the blob?
Is that what it looks like?
I don't know.
It's like an amorphous creature. It doesn't. I don't know if it looks like that. It's getting. What is it? In quotes, no question mark. Man, I love it.
Hey, they had rocking chair seats at the Capri.
Yeah. Ooh, that would be awesome. That ad looks great. They did a great job of capturing everything there.
That weird monster doing the the bicep curl.
Yeah.
That I never knew what to think about that. He looks like a lobster.
Yeah. They look like, I don't know if anybody in the chat's ever seen the 80s horror line Inhumanoids that Hasbro did, but a lot of the creatures in Inhumanoids feel like Equinox characters. They were pretty cool. They were so gross that parents wouldn't buy them for their kids, though, so the line didn't succeed. This ad's beautiful. I love the Astro Zombies poster. That's a great. Astro Zombies is so confident of itself. They're like, we don't have to put Tora Zatanna on the poster. Like, we're cool. And like, but you got her. You could probably do it. And they're like, we're good with this.
The South Drive-In had ads like this with this circular border around it. Love it.
You get a pass if you make it through all three.
I know. It wouldn't be because you were so afraid.
Yeah, or they have to check see if you're awake. But Davey mentioned in the credits, David Gregory that runs Severin is not the David Gregory that's in our chat. David is an actor.
Yeah, David Gregory's an actor.
Yeah, he is not the boss of Severin, but still a very important person and is watches the show every week. So just FYI to everybody.
Speaking of kaiju,
yeah,
here we go.
Wow, this had Gorgo, Rodan, and Equinox is pretty cool. Supernatural dinosaurs, and then Patton and MASH after that. What Patton and MASH is a wild double feature because it's like here's one movie that loves war. Here's one movie that hates it.
Yeah.
The hippies come late.
Well, they were just providing a broad spectrum of fare at Federal.
Thomas also want to know, what is Beast from Outer Space, Bill?
I'm not sure what that is. I think I had to look that up when I ran that ad on the page. Beast from Outer Space. Who knows? It could have just been a made-up title.
It's not the Italian movie, The Beast in Space, which is a totally different story. But
maybe it was Beast of Yucca Flats, and they were hoping you would think Yucca Flats was outer space.
Yeah, I agree with Roger. Occult Barrier is a great name for this, but the best thing about this ad, Bill, is they're like, oh, fuck, we forgot to put the times and dates in. Just typewrite it and just put a little bit of white out and just put that over top of it.
Your next band should be called Occult Barrier.
Oh, that's a great name for a band.
And then you have to make one of those logos that just looks like a bunch of sticks.
Yeah, just trees and stuff. Yeah.
And nobody can read it.
Yes. The Camp logo was too readable. I think that's what our whole problem was. It was way too readable.
You guys weren't real. Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't true vault, as they say.
Here we go. Pittsburgh, represent.
Man. Oh, man. Trash is pretty awesome that Trash played. Mhm.
But Equinox was at the Stanley.
Yeah, that's a fancy theater.
It was, yeah.
The
Now it's the
Warner was
Benedum
like,
Center.
yeah, the Warner's like, we got Love Story for the nation's #1. Like, come see this. Love doesn't mean having to say you're sorry. Like, yeah, like the Stanley said, we got Equinox. But guess what? What one's in the Criterion collection today? Equinox is.
That's right.
Yeah. Man.
Cold Turkey. I remember that.
Yeah, Cold Turkey.
Wait, that's the movie where Dick Van Dyke's in it. Everybody quits smoking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I agree. Frank said it looks like the creature from Equinox is holding up a sign. Like, here's the name of my movie. I'm shocked no one drew that in one of these ads.
It was like one of those scarves that you take to a concert. It says Culture Club. And then you try and get Boy George's attention and stretch it out.
Exactly. He's like, Boy George, I'm in Equinox. Man. Now this
many
looks
screams.
beautiful. This is beautiful though.
Mm-hmm.
Because this one also shows you the full Master of Terror and Master of Horror look. And the CCC thing is like total comic book. Like, it's great.
Yeah, they didn't put that part in every ad.
No.
See 4 teenagers fight a devil cult. See the ring that enslaves and destroys.
Mm.
See the symbol that defies the hosts of hell. See the unleashed power of the 1,000-year-old book.
Huh. Is that the Necronomicon Daviticus?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And then you read a passage from it and boom, your
Yeah.
eyes turn white and you're done.
This is definitely a Bill double feature. Son of Blob and Equinox.
Yeah, this is obviously later in the 70s when Son of Blob was released and Equinox was the co-feature. Equinox popped up on a lot of things. Like I said earlier, anything that Jack Harris put out, you could be sure you would find Equinox playing there somewhere.
Yeah.
So, is this movie a prequel to Evil Dead?
It sure feels like it, doesn't it?
I don't know. You tell me.
Everybody in this movie went on to actually, a lot of the crew on this went on to do a lot of stuff and work on a lot of things. Dennis Murin, who worked on it, went on to win 9 Oscars after this movie. He did work on Star Wars and Jurassic Park. Then there's also Jim Danforth, who worked on it. He created matte work and stop motion work for The Thing, Creepshow, Clash of the Titans, Prince of Darkness. Mark McGee, who was in high school when he worked on this movie, and he was already writing for Famous Monsters. He's the one that got Forrest Ackerman into it. He wrote Sorority House Massacre 2 and Sorceress, which were both directed by Jim Wynorski. And David Allen obviously went on to do a lot of stuff. Flesh Gordon, Laser Blast, The Howling, Puppet Master, Dungeon Master, a ton of stuff. And the other movie I think that Equinox is a definite influence on is Phantasm. There's a lot of like a lot of the feel of this in Phantasm. It's not as like druggy, what the hell's happening, but there is a lot of that in it. It's like there's a lot that happens in this where it's like, hey, a cemetery blows up, and hey, a park ranger's a demon named Asmodeus, and all this stuff. Like, you know, here's a winged creature, and here's this thing, and here's a tentacle monster, and there's like a lot of stuff.
Well, Phantasm quotes that part where he puts his hand in and you can't see it, like he reaches into another dimension.
Yeah, Phantasm's like taking from Phantasm's like also very Dune. Like that whole scene, like Fear is the Mind Killer. It's like, yeah, we all read Dune when we were high. But this is not to disparage Phantasm, which is great, or Evil Dead from taken from these. These movies, do they all exist in the same universe? Quite perhaps. The thing I like about this movie is like it's a very Monster Kid movie, right? Because it's like, I love that they're like, let's go have a picnic. We know these woods are cursed, but let's go have a picnic. Nothing bad will happen. And then, yes, many bad things happen after that.
Equinox was made in 1970, or at least that's when it came out. Mm-hmm. So 2 things came out in 1970, Equinox and me.
Aw. Did Jack Harris didn't have anything to do with producing you, though?
Probably not.
No.
That would be a surprise to me.
Wouldn't it be? And he's like, "That's why you love movies so much, Bill." He comes back from the grave and says, "Because I was your father." Thanks, Jack H. Harris. Motor Mixologist says Phantasm is in the same world as Dune. That makes a lot of sense.
It totally does.
Yep, it could happen. You know what I think about all the time with Phantasm, Bill?
What?
Is the lady in purple. You're like, what? God, what?
What now?
The lady in purple is the tall man, right?
The lady in lavender.
Lavender. Well, purple lavender, right? She is.
Called the lady in. It's alliterative. She's the lady in lavender.
She's the tall man, though, right?
Yes.
So when dudes are having sex with her, they're really having sex with the tall man.
Yes. It adds another dimension to the horror.
It does. That's scary for 70s guys, where they're just about to finish, and she's like, "Oh, baby, don't stop." And and all of a sudden he's like, "Boy, like don't finish."
It's a shining moment.
Yeah.
You know, where all of a sudden you're hugging up on a rotted corpse that came out of a bathtub.
Yeah, exactly. All right, that's all I wanted to say. Sorry.
That's all?
I mean, I'm not going to talk for the rest of the show now.
Wow. Well, let's go do the drink segment.
Yeah.
All right.
You ready for the movie, Elvis? Yeah? You like kids with evil books? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Daddy, make a drink.
Hi, everybody. This is the Asmodeus from the movie Exodus. It is a demonic drink made of many ingredients. First off, we got an ounce of high-proof rum. A little bit of the holy in here. Is it blasphemous? I don't know. Made by monks. An ounce of Frangelico. A half an ounce of Screwball, a peanut butter whiskey. A half an ounce
Grosses me out.
of homemade Kahlua. A half an ounce of lemon juice. How does this work? A quarter ounce of vanilla. A quarter ounce of cocoa real. And the mystery ingredient. 1 egg white. A chicken abortion.
Blah.
All here together in one drink. One unholy conglomeration for the Driving Asylum double feature drink feature.
I'm going to help. I'm going
Okay.
to pour the booze.
The booze goes in.
Oh,
Oh, nice. Then we're going to put in, let's stir it up,
your mixture.
the mixture.
I think you should just take a shot of that.
Yeah. And then finally, to give it a little bit of froth.
And a stomach ache. Your egg white.
Bloop. Oh, a chicken did that. A chicken is proud. They said, my egg.
Hubby said I could have eaten that chicken, you know.
That could have been popcorn chicken.
But you're drinking
But
it.
that's how you did it. Really shake this up. You want to really get this up in here. Really
Don't get it up in the air.
Really get it up here. You probably want to flip it. You probably want to do some cocktail moves, but not Tom Cruise, the one who kills himself. Spoiler warning.
Brian.
Brian Brown.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
You probably have to take the lid off. That doesn't seem like a good idea.
Does it?
No.
I thought it was a capital idea. I pooped this color before. I just want to tell you.
That's not what it looks like.
I have-
so you know,
I have-
just take a drink. Ugh.
Oh my gosh. Well,
You're drippy.
yes.
Drink it.
Pazuzu, Asmodeus, Exodus.
No.
It is very good. It is wild. Ooh. That is one wild, wacky drink, as Johnny Carson would say.
Jackie.
As Jackie Rogers Jr. would say, this one's for my daddy. As Johnny Carson would say, that's some wild stuff. Ooh. Pazuzu. Enjoy.
Pazuzu,
Pazuzu.
I have a question for you. Why twice in that video did you say that this was from Exodus?
Because I was thinking about the band.
You know that the movie is called Equinox.
I do. I do.
I thought I missed something. I thought there
No.
was some reference that I wasn't
No,
getting.
I'm
there.
sorry. I'm sorry. Now
I
I'm
just
embarrassed. Now I'm embarrassed.
You left me in the dust there, Sam Panico.
Sorry,
That's not hard to do.
I was dusted. Look, I'm gonna drink this drink here. Look.
You like my little overlay thing? I have the cool shaker over
It's
here.
the coolest.
If I had a straw, I could just put it right in there.
I love the overlays. I have to say, I love the. My favorite thing is the Dr. Freudenstein in my head. That makes me so happy every time. It makes me feel like that's why I keep doing. I was tired this weekend. And I was like, should I record another podcast? And I was like, oh, but that ad's so cool, and it really made me do it. So thank you.
Yeah, I love that you compared it to excrement before drinking it.
It was good though. It was a very complex taste.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think the person ate to produce that kind of excrement?
They ate poop to make it. It's a double poop.
Oh, so it's like a human centipede.
It is, yeah. You don't want to be in the back of the human
Ew.
centipede, right? You want to be in the front.
No, I mean, like, I don't know how any of it stayed alive.
Yeah.
Once you, I mean, was it really such a great job of suturing that the doctor did that they couldn't separate themselves?
Also,
Very
it's
strange.
like, wouldn't the sutures get infected from all the feces coming through?
Yeah. I mean, you just can't do that, no matter how mad of a scientist you are. It's
And
a
really,
bad
like,
idea.
if you're that good of a scientist, wouldn't you like how do you turn? You know, I always say to people, like, when I coach them at work, I always say, like, take the things that you love and figure out how to make your career better. And like, I really like sewing mouths to asses. Okay, well, I don't know how to take that into your career, but if you can figure it out, do it. By the way, I saw that someone that Nora said she doesn't like stop motion dinosaurs. This one doesn't have it. This one has stop motion, but it's a supernatural movie, and it's got some really fun stuff in it. I think you'll like it. So, but that's
not quite the same thing as Equinox. I mean, Exodus. And it's Planet of Dinosaurs is not the same as Equinox, and Equinox has a little bit more variety.
If you're into Bay Area thrash metal, I would recommend Exodus to you, not Equinox. I would recommend the band Exodus, but not Equinox. Thank you. Yeah, I think I just get jazzed up doing the thing, and I just start flowing once I do the drink videos. And as we know, I don't always say the right things. So, but
I didn't know there was a Human Centipede 3.
Yeah.
I stopped at Human Centipede 0.0 because I haven't seen any of them. Once I saw what it was about, I was like, that's the gag right there. Like,
I don't know where, I haven't seen them either, so I don't know where. Like, once you get to that point, you're like, yeah, but where does it go? Do you know what I mean? So, like, where do we go next after that? Like, this is the third movie about people pooping into people's mouths. Cool.
Yeah.
Like, is this where the character development happens at this point?
I guess we've reached that point in time where there's nowhere left to go but into these weird areas.
I did see a sketch comedy thing. I can't remember who did it, where it was 3 people meeting up that had been in a Human Centipede years later. Like, where do I know you from? And like, I used to be behind you for a year.
Oh
yeah. They were all in a restaurant, of course, and they're like, this food just doesn't taste as good as it used to.
I don't know. I thought there was no coming back from that.
I guess not. Well, maybe in the world of this, maybe these people were saved.
I realize it was sketch comedy,
Yeah.
But and we're actually talking about Human Centipede, which is even more outrageous than sketch comedy.
What's funny though is Human Centipede, despite being like a culty film, like, mainstream people know what it is just because it's so weird. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like
Sure.
oh yeah, Human Centipede, yeah. Even if you haven't seen it, not like you can be like, oh, like Solo, and like people are like, what? Like, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a movie that'll really make you want to puke.
Yeah. Human Centipede 4 in space, they have to have the suits all tied together too. So you have like they have to sew the spacesuits and everything. I think I'm of the belief that more franchises should go to space, Bill. I
don't know why Halloween has not.
Give them time. They will. I think Becca would get really angry if Halloween went to space. She just yelled, "I would" in the background. I think she would have been really upset.
Those were pretty grody. The
Yeah.
mouth scenes in the hidden.
Yeah. I don't like movies where people's mouths get removed too, or they get like smoothed out where there's nothing there. That's an upsetting graphic to me. I'm gonna make I'm trying to think of a movie I would hate even more if it was in space. Gosh, I don't know. Oh, Scream in space. In space, but that's oxymoron, because in space no one can hear you
No one
scream.
can hear you scream. It's an
Yeah, so-
idea waiting to happen.
It is, and then like, yeah, it starts at the beginning, and you think that what's his name's gonna the bad guy's gonna kill them, and a face hugger jumps on him, and then we now have a face hugger that calls people on the phone and to ask them questions about horror movies.
It could happen.
I just made somebody a lot of money. If they're watching this show, they're like, "Fuck yes,
Yeah.
yes,
It could totally happen.
yeah."
Hey,
Totally
I mean,
could.
it's not that I want to recommend things other than watching our show, but look what's going on tonight at the Mahoning.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
Twilight People, Invasion of the Bee Girls, Invasion of the Blood Farmers, and The Body Beneath.
That feels like, did you have anything to do with picking these? Because that's amazing.
I know. I mean, there's just so much programming at the Mahoning that I would be there every weekend.
Yeah.
But I guess, if you
Close.
like watching the Drive-In Asylum double feature, be glad I don't live anywhere near there, or we wouldn't be doing this show. We'd be doing it on another night, maybe.
Thursday night.
Anyway. Did I catch you eating something?
I thought I had enough time to finish. Sorry, everybody.
Sorry. I have impeccable timing. All right. So anything else we want to say about Equinox before we get into tonight's second feature, another stop motion extravaganza that's sure to please Nora Wallace because she liked those stop motion dinosaurs so much.
I'm excited to watch this. I haven't watched it in some time. And it's always interesting to go back and rewatch movies after you've watched a couple other films. You know what I mean? Like, and you've taken some time between them. So I'm super excited to watch it. And I don't think we asked who in the chat has seen it and who hasn't seen it. But let us know if you haven't seen it. And I'm looking forward to it, though. And I love big monsters, right? I love claymation monsters. This feels like kind of like the Santo movies where he fought a whole bunch of monsters. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, oh, wow. Like, and all the monsters look totally different in this, too. They're just wild.
What about next week's movies? We should tease those a little bit more.
I would say one of them we have discussed a lot. We have brought it up a lot.
We have?
Yeah, one of the two.
Oh, yeah. I know now.
Yeah. One of the two we have. The other one we haven't. And let's see. One of the movies is a little later than movies we usually do, but not too late. It's still in our time, but it's man, how do I talk about that? There is a connection between filmmakers, but not directors, of the two movies we're showing next week. That's it.
The first movie is a sequel.
Yeah. The first one is a sequel, and this is probably too much. I should do next week's movies from the pool. How about that? Is that too much?
It's going too far.
Too far. But I am beyond excited for next week. Next week's double feature is a double feature whose time has come. Just when you thought it was safe to watch the Drive-In Asylum double feature, next week we come back and it's like, wow, we really hit you. But two good themes this week. I'm really excited about this. And then these 2 weeks, like, these are good themes. So,
all right.
Well, thanks guys for sticking around. Hope you come back for the third segment. If anything, it's going to be wild because we've had a couple third segment moments already.
I know. Anyway, come back and find out.